thank you for joining me for another episode of my Sunday Junk Journal Snacks. I'm so happy that you're enjoying this series. And I hope it provides lots and lots of inspiration for you, for your own journals. I hope you're not just watching. I hope you're actually doing something in your own journals. I am flipping to the back part of my journal again, since this is the one that is still quite empty. Just going to put a box underneath so that I can work better here. And these, by the way, I glued together. There was a bigger piece of paper in between, a lined one, that somehow I wasn't liking, so I tore it out. I left this little bit so I wouldn't lose the counterpart. But then I just decided to glue these together to keep it sturdy. And I'm telling you this because I think it's important that even if we buy a journal, we have to make it work for our own needs. I don't think you should be afraid to change things in the journal. Don't treat it like it's too precious and that you're afraid to switch things around. No, it needs to work for you. You bought it, it's yours. And of course, we're honoring the artist. I mean, I love what Nadia did. By the way, her Instagram is linked below as always. But I think we need to have the freedom to change it to fit to what we need to make it ours. So this was one freedom I took. I have recently come across this amazing yellow wax paper. It's for flower wrapping, food wrapping, gift wrapping, and decorational use. I found this at my local store at Thalia, in case anyone is familiar with that from the German-speaking world. Obviously, many of you won't have access to it. It has a website here. It's in the Netherlands, and it's www.vivant.nl. I will also link that below. Maybe you can find this on their site. This is a roll of 5 meters. It cost me €7.99. First I saw it and I didn't buy it because I was like, what do I do with 5 meters? That's a lot. But I kept thinking about it and I went back the next day and I bought it because I just loved it so much. So I want to try to play with this. Of course, it is a wax paper, meaning it'll be hard to stick things to it, I'm guessing. But I wanted to try to work with it anyway. I just love this mustard yellow. Yeah, it's one of my favorite colors. So I'm just going to tear this. Oh, this is not tearing how I want it to tear. This is so sturdy. This is amazing. So I'm sure it's really nice for food wrapping as well, or gift wrapping. Almost feels like leather. It's really amazing. So what I want to do is I want to make a pocket here. I want this page to be dedicated to the season of autumn. And I want to add some dried leaves that I also found. But I'm thinking this might be a little bit too big. I'm just going to tear it down a little farther. I will definitely be using this somewhere else. Yeah, I think that's better. And I really don't think that a glue is going to hold this. I mean, even if it holds it now, I think over time it will not stick anymore. So I think what I need to do is to sew this pocket on. But before I do that, I need to think about my decoration. The other thing I recently found were these beautiful real dry leaves. They are from a shop called Depot. They were $1.99. Maybe you can find something like this in your vicinity or on Etsy or someplace. So I have these 3 leaves. I just love these colors. Aren't they just gorgeous? And I don't know what they coated these leaves with, so that the front seems normal, but the back seems, it feels like velvet. I don't know what is on there. But I mean, they are absolutely gorgeous. So what I want to do is I want to hang these somehow like this, something like that. Now, again, the issue is that I don't think anything is going to stick to this paper. So I'm wondering if I can sew these on here. I will try that. I want to take a thread, and this is embroidery thread. I want to take something that is fairly similar to the colors I have here. So I think one of these two, probably this one or this one. Yeah, I'll just take this one, would fit nicely. Ooh, or do I want something more like reddish brown? That might be nice. Yeah, I'll change that. I just thought maybe I should first wrap a twine around them to make them hold together, hoping that they will be easier to sew. I don't know if that's gonna work, so I'm just gonna make a double knot here. This is going to create a huge amount of bulk in my journal, of course, but so be it. I want this. So I'm just going to try to attach them. I'm gonna leave a tail here because I'm going to bind a knot. We go over it twice. This is probably better to do with fabric leaves. Okay, and now I'll tie a knot like that. And maybe I'll just leave these hanging. I don't know yet. This one I think I want to cut off. Like that. And now I can sew this pocket here on the two sides. I made a knot at the end, and I'm just gonna go in, out with a very simple straight stitch, and I will leave the knot showing like that. I think that's totally cute. There is something so calming about hand stitching. And at the end, I make a double knot again. Next, I want to create a journaling card, and I want to make a leaf with this book page. I'm going to use a stamp from this beautiful set, the Pressed Foliage CMS 376 by Stampers Anonymous. So this is the leaf I want to use, and I want to put some color down first. You can use watercolor if you don't have any distress oxides or distress inks, but I want to try it with these. I have fairly recently acquired these two, and I had this distress stain in Candied Apple a while, and I haven't really used much of it because it is such a strong red, and I think this might be time to try that. So I think I will start off with the lightest color, which is the fossilized amber. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to mist this, and I'm going to smoosh my book page into it gently with a lot of love. That looks good. Going to mop up the rest with another book page because we don't want to waste any of that. Next, I'm going to add some of this beautiful rusty hinge, a new favorite of mine. Just look at that color, it's just gorgeous. Same thing, we're going to just smoosh this on here gently. That will soak up all the rest of the goodness. And lastly, I'll use this Candied Apple. Wow, look at that red. That is just amazing. Let's see what that looks like. Oh wow, that is super intense. Okay, I'm not gonna do more than that. Once this has dried, I can stamp on it. I'm using my Ranger Jet Black archival ink for this, and I think I might turn this sideways. I do want to get some of this beautiful yellow here. So there's our leaf, and now I just need to cut this out. And then I really would love to have a contrasting color underneath. I'm going to use this Stabilo Woody pencil. I'm just going to color some of my book page big enough so that it goes over the leaf. And then I'm going to just mist it. I could go over this with a paintbrush as well, but I'm going to just try it like this. I will mist it. Again, if you don't have anything like this, just use watercolors if you want this contrasting effect. Or maybe you have these water-soluble crayons, so it blends beautifully with the water. Once it's dry, I'm going to glue this leaf onto that. And I'm going to cut around this one more time. But of course, I'm going to leave a bit of that turquoise border. Next, I have cut a piece of beige cardstock, which is going to be the base for my journaling card. And before I put this leaf on, I'm first of all going to round the corners with my small corner rounder. And then I'm going to take this random turquoise stamp and stamp some leaves on this card as a pattern. Then I'm going to distress the edges with my vintage photo on both sides. Next, I'm going to glue this leaf in the middle here. And I love how the turquoise in the background is making the leaf really pop. And I also want to add a quote. I have these autumn quotes. I will link them for you down below in case you want to check them out as well. And there's one here that I want to use, which is this one, which says, "There is something incredibly nostalgic and significant about the annual cascades of autumn leaves," by Joe L. Wheeler. I think that is a beautiful sentiment for my autumn themed page and journaling card. And because I still think it's a little bit plain, I'm also going to be adding this embellishment. And if you want to see how I make these and similar ones, stay tuned. I have a video coming up with these shortly. I'm only gluing it halfway like that, and that just makes a really fun tag topper in this case. And finally, on the back side, I will document all the things that I enjoy about autumn. So the things that spontaneously came to my mind are the changing colors of the leaves, the cooler weather, getting cozy with a warm beverage and a good book, pumpkin soup, apple pie, crunchy leaves and crisp air, berry picking with my BFF, and candles. I'm sure you can come up with a list of your own. So now I can stick this into my wax paper pocket and have the leaf picking out a little bit for some extra color. And that's my easy spread for today. Maybe it inspires you to make an autumn themed page in your journal. Maybe you don't like autumn. You can document what you don't like about autumn. You can do that just the same. Thank you for joining me for another quick little episode, and I hope to see you back here next Sunday. Have a great week. Love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!